Children reflect society, and in this Polish society, there is great dissatisfaction with the influx of people from Eastern Europe. Mostly Ukrainians, but also Belarusians. Incidentally, those whom the Duda and Morawiecki government eagerly brought in 2020. Incidents of Belarusians being beaten and even killed are increasing. For instance, remember the Belarusian woman raped and strangled by local Poles. And here are scenes with a Ukrainian migrant. In Poland, he is being told to head back home. The suggestion is forcefully accompanied by Polish slaps. The kitchen is also a small space. Conversations in the kitchen can vary. Rising prices in the country, inflation, someone has to be blamed. And then the little Pole from the kitchen goes to school and reflects his parents' attitudes onto foreign children.
Good afternoon. My name is Jana. I'm from Warsaw. My son is now 12 years old. 3 years ago, we moved to Warsaw and immediately enrolled in the 25th school, where bullying started gradually, then became severe. Not only was my child beaten, but he was also cornered and dunked in the toilet. When I went to the school, I was assured by the teacher and the principal that they were addressing the issue. Not to worry, everything would be resolved. In reality, they did nothing. And the bullying got worse and worse. It got to the point where my child didn't want to go to school. He would have a complete meltdown because he knew he would be bullied that day. He was bullied every single day.
Polish statistics are relentless. Every 10th child in the country is bullied. For a long time, day after day. This is Lublin. The city was shaken by a tragedy. 16-year-old Julia committed suicide. She was bullied online by classmates, beaten. Even with family support, her fragile psyche couldn't handle it.
I myself with bullying already from them not. What's on you?
Know everything.
Now Polish parents are demanding the same change education laws, tighten laws on violence and online bullying, and introduce empathy lessons in schools, as children reflect cruelty. However, bullying in Polish schools often occurs based on nationality.
First Poznan, then Warsaw. Son, 14 years old. It all started with being mocked for being Belarusian and coming here. For a long time, he was just called names and mocked. Eventually, it led to the first fight. His eyebrow was split. I tried for a long time to achieve something. Eventually, we finished and changed schools. Moved to Warsaw? It all started again with a conversation in the bathroom with classmates. Result, torn backpack, torn shirt, bruise on the arm, more tears, and so on.
We settled in Katowice. Son, at first, he was just called names. They didn't want to communicate and completely rejected him. Then he seemed to make a couple of friends, but then suddenly, he came home with blood pouring from his nose. We went to the doctor's, fracture. He admitted that 3 Poles just beat him and shouted something about Belarus. But I'm shocked. Is this the 90s starting again in Poland?
Warsaw. 2 boys, several stronger classmates, Poles, met my kids near the bathroom and said no one would talk or be friends with them until they learned Polish, and called them pathetic Belarusians.
Poznan, daughter, 12 years old. Poles simply don't let her into the class. Like Belarusians should study in Belarus or sit here in the corridor.
We found you just in time. Tried reaching out in many groups for knowledgeable people, but either got no response or the group admins blocked us for unclear reasons. Faced these bullying issues too. Maybe someone will be interested. Son, 11 years old, Białystok. At first, everything seemed fine. He didn't really talk to anyone. I thought it was a language barrier. He comes home every day in a bad mood. Then he started unpacking his backpack himself and hiding it. I noticed a strong smell of urine and took the backpack. After long talks, the child admitted that Polish classmates held him while 2 urinated in his backpack and on everything inside. He's afraid to go to school because those kids said he'd be next. It's a complete nightmare, so the topic is very relevant.
This is a chat for migrant parents. Their children face daily severe bullying from Polish peers just for being Belarusian. It's not just words. Parents report damaged belongings, beatings, bruises, and scratches. This Ukrainian teenager was beaten to the point of hospitalization.
On September 18th, my son was beaten in the corridor of the technical school. Result: a broken bone under the left eye, naturally bruises, swelling, the eye won't open. The school didn't call an ambulance or the police. They called me and suggested I pick up my beaten child.
Polish teachers and police are indifferent to the situation. Foreign children, foreign kids, and students are clearly divided into ours and yours, locals and migrant workers.
This problem, in my opinion, is very common, where everyone gangs up on one child, and everyone protects each other, and teachers listen to Polish children, not ours. So our children are blamed for everything.
Poznań, Warsaw, Gdańsk. We've tried everywhere. I have a daughter and son, 11 and 14 years old. They cry at night. For 3 days I haven't been able to find out what and how. A neighbor told me she saw older Polish boys harassing my daughter in the schoolyard, trying to lift her skirt. Yes, I admit, even though she's 11, she looks 15, 16. That's just how it is. I'm very worried about her being raped. As awful as it sounds. With my son, it's simpler. He came home with bruises on his arms. He says he fell during football, but I can see someone held and squeezed his arms hard. And most interestingly, someone wrote, "Go back to your country," on his bag with paint. That's how it is.
Son 10 years old. We moved last summer. From day one, there were insults. Sometimes it almost led to fights. My son is the type who won't let himself be hurt. So Polish kids just kept bothering him nonstop. He ended up in the same class as one of the bullies. This boy turned the whole class against my son. For a year, there were insults, sometimes scuffles. My son became very nervous and aggressive. We worked with psychologists. The worst part was that the main bully started accusing our child, and his mom threatened us with lawsuits.
Hello, my name is Inga. We're from Belarus, currently in Katowice. We were very happy to see there are people who decided to take action to protect children from this damn bullying. I want to share my story. My son is 12. I'll just list the injuries. Deviated septum, stitched eyebrow, knocked out tooth. I think there's no need to list more, but every time he wished to return to Belarus sooner, as he was told, either leave or it will hurt more each time. We changed schools, but still, the fact remains, we went to the police, their officers were at the school. It all came down to our child being at fault. The boys who beat him were supposedly punished, but no one could explain how. Not even the police.
As a result, schools have to be changed. Warsaw, Katowice, Gdańsk, Białystok. One then the next. Faces change, the problem remains. New bullies replace the old ones. Belarusians are treated as if they have no rights. Poles speak and look with superiority and disdain, which is frankly expected. In Belarus, Belarusians have rights, but in Poland, they are second class. For those who fled, sometimes with children, seeking change, the harsh reality is democracy and brutal bullying, affecting young Belarusians who made no decisions.